Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you gotta get spotted. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning. Oh, geez, that's wrong. That's wrong. It's also way too loud. Well, welcome to 2025. Hey, it's our Korean friend. Yay. Yeah, dude, I think I know what you're gonna tell me about, because I saw some of the headlines over the week about them, like, arresting impeaching and arresting the president and all this sort of stuff. Yeah. It's still pretty crazy over there. Well, meanwhile, over here in the United States, in interest rates land, they are starting out 2025 with a fairly significant sell, and it was sell right. Well, actually, I take that back. We have some news, don't we? Let's see here. No, I don't have it open for some reason. That tab is closed. Gotta make sure that's open. News squawk. Continued jobless claims, 1.844 million versus an expected 1.89. Oh, initial jobless claims, 2.11 versus an expected 221. That can't be what caused us to move down. That's wild. Well, anyways, we sold pretty hard in the treasuries for whatever reason. Hey, good morning, Seth. Where were you? Well, there's no reason to stream during the Christmas break. Nothing happens in the markets between. In fact, let's come back and look at the charts. Ooh, do I have one of them? Oh, I don't. Would have expected there to be like at least one rollover or something like that, but I guess not. Okay, so here we are. Here's the treasuries. So I haven't been around basically since what, the 22nd, right? And like treasuries have hardly done anything. I guess they are a little bit higher now. After the 30th, they had a decent move up, but yeah, the treasury market didn't really do much. There's good moves on Boxing Day. Let's see here. Well, I mean, it doesn't really, I don't know if it's really relevant compared to that Federal Reserve Day, right? Whew. Okay, but you know, there was on the 27th. Overall, though, I would say now oil's actually doing something interesting here. Oil's starting a little bit of a trend, enough of a trend that I have to go out to like daily charts to see where like latest resistance might be. Gold and silver still kind of in their range. Copper looks awful. Japanese yen has it's kind of like the treasuries. It's like maybe they're going to stabilize, but you know that nothing's been going on, so I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't get too attached to it. And Bitcoin's been struggling a bit. This, I tell you what, like on this chart, it doesn't look like too big of a deal, right? It's like, oh, it's just back to where it was. Okay, but when you look at it on like MSTR and some of these other ones, like that is a 10% pullback. It's ugly. That's really ugly pullback. So there's some pain over in crypto world. Okay, well, it looks like the treasuries are kind of moderating a little bit. All right, going back over here. GJU. Oh, is that the airplane? Is that airplane that really yeah, final shows of Showboy 3 on first family vacation before deadly plane crash. Oh, that's so terrible. I didn't need to see that. Anyways, their stock, they have a stock though that's down. Ooh, dude, airlines, airline companies are like, I gotta be careful about how I say it, because I don't want to say something like never invest in airline companies. Okay, but like airline companies are rough. Okay, those are rough to own. They've had problems for a long time. But one of the things that kind of made Carl Icahn famous, well, like he had his first like activist investor things, and then he decided he was going to take on the airline industry. Like that was the whole thing that Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps, the movie, it was basically based on him. And like at the end of that movie, it's like, oh, I'm going to invest in an airline because that's what he did. And that ended up being a huge disaster for him. Like he just couldn't solve the problems at the airline industry, because it's like, okay, if you pay pilots what they should be getting paid, then there's no money left to pay flight attendants what they should be getting paid. And flight attendants are like the most exploited workers in the United States in some respects. So like, it's airline company. And then you had like airline companies just got absolutely destroyed during 2011. And there was periods during the 90s when you could still like hijack airplanes, when that was still a thing. It's just, you know, and then during COVID, airline got hammered, you know, and these have been like not just hammered, but like without intervention from the US government, the US airline industry would probably be gone. Like, oh man, can you imagine? Because airports are insane infrastructure projects, right? You have to spend so much money building up an airport. Can you imagine if all of a sudden just the whole airline industry was just, it'd be crazy. Well, I mean, it does seem like the treasuries have kind of balanced out. Oh, I'm just now noticing we need to roll over some of our instruments over here on Jigsaw. So this one should be CLH now, right? Come on. H. No, not H. G. CLG. For February now. And these ones should be F. They're not showing up. Down 15.48, and well, that's actually maybe a little bit better than I would have expected. Like, that reminds me of the whole Boeing fiasco. That was way more than 15%, wasn't it? There we go. I'm just thinking about what we want to do here. By the way, And I can't even remember our Korean friend. I'm so grateful that you keep coming back. I love hearing about this stuff. I really wish it was easier for me to invest in Korea. Oh, by the way, my camera's a little bit too bright. Let's go with now 3.2. Let's go with that. Looks like we're going to recover that downside. Well, good for me because, you know, I was not particularly happy when we pushed the new lows on the treasuries, but you know, this whole thing right here, I was like feeling pretty good about myself. But then 39% in a year. Now that's bad. That's painful. Well, by the way, I should note, when it comes to our seasonality, okay, the beginning of the year tends to be some of the best trading of the year, especially for us in the treasuries. However, this year, because we're starting to get into, like, Christmas is midweek, or sorry, New Year's was on a Wednesday. So normally it's like, oh, that Friday we'll have non-farms. But that's not the case this time. Non-farms is going to be next week. And then so you might get a beginning of the year that is a little bit subdued compared to normally. Like, I'm not so sure that the treasury market is really going to make super decisive moves today. It's a possibility that we want to keep an eye on, but it's not guaranteed. So that's kind of where we're at. I do feel that, well, okay, we had that big move down and come back up. Let's just call that one a wash. Maybe they overreacted to that news. I don't know. But there's a decent amount of activity going on here on the DOM right now. I'm seeing a lot of. Yeah. Oh, by the way, we gotta start the robot, huh? We gotta start the robot. Enabled. Dang. We'll hold this one open though. See, like 30,000's a lot. There's definitely something going on. There's also some big orders kind of stacking and pulling around here. Icebergs on both sides at 03 at 03 half. There's definitely something happening. We may be forming a liquidity hole here though, so I don't know. I'm kind of debating what I want to do today. So over the weekend, I spent a lot of time learning about Rust, the programming language. Like I had kind of like casually dipped into it here and there, but over the week, I read the whole book and everything. And I've been doing there's this really cool project called Rustlings that it's basically got all these little exercises and you change the files until they compile. So I'm thinking about doing that. I also, for some reason, had this thought this morning about testing support and resistance. It's like, we did this in the past, but I don't really remember doing it super hard. So I'm kind of, now that I'm thinking about it, it's kind of like if I don't do it now, I might totally forget. We got to make sure that our programming window doesn't cover up the stuff. So when I come into here to strategies, no, I don't have one that looks anything like it. So I'm just going to try it. Still clicking and going back and forth there. So I think that we want to have something like, yeah, let's do r squared underscore r2. Copy this. So if we want to basically say if it is the high of the last X periods, then do something. But we also kind of want it to say it can't be anywhere close to the high recently. In other words, well, let's try and draw a picture. So if we're doing this, then we would be at the high of the period, right? But if we're doing this, we would also be at the high. So I don't necessarily want to sell every time that we're getting a high. It has to have not been close to the high for a while before we do it. So there needs to be this other, like, so if we're at the high and we weren't close to the high anywhere within this most recent time period. And I'm trying to think about what the best way to express that would be. Ooh, the treasuries came back down pretty decisively after that major volume there. So two big guys collided with each other there, I guess. That's interesting. That could be a bad omen. That could be a, we're just going to keep selling. So one way that I can kind of express this is if r squared is not very high. Maybe r squared not being very high is enough. Public double r thresholds. So if close of 0. Actually have to look at this now. Oh, now that's interesting. Max is run on closes and not highs. Do we care? Could you do it using a fib? Probably. Well, what I could do is I could say, well, what you could do is you could say, so there's max and then there's min. So I could say, if we've pulled back to the point, the 38% from that, right, I think we need to have, so on these ones that we have right here, I'm only doing a period of 14. But like, let's change it to 60. That'll probably be a little bit better. Okay, there you go. And so now you say, okay, so here's the high and the low. This is actually our range. Or in this case, this is our range. I don't know. So these get complicated because you as a person, you're going to sit there and you're going to say, oh, it's this right here. Here's the range that I want to play, right? So when we get a pullback of 38% from this, then I want to take it or whatever. But actually, wouldn't it make more sense to just buy it when it hits the low? I don't know. The thing is that we're... on one hand, it's like, okay, let's make a strategy that works okay. All right. But the expectation should be anytime that we're programming something that relies purely on price data, that it's not going to be very effective. That's just the way that the market tends to be from my experience. So I think that on a back test like this, that we're more either trying to disprove or show the problems with a certain type of strategy, or to try and prove some sort of behavior about the market, right? And the popular strategy out there is support and resistance. So we want to make a strategy that is the best reflection of support and resistance, I think. Now, in doing support and resistance, it's super interesting to me that the max and min, by default, do it against the closing price and not the low. So the part of me is like, oh, okay, so is that okay to just use the close? It's probably okay. It might not be optimal. But there's also these other ones, like what if I did the min of, I'm interested to see now, instead of doing it on close, you could do it on like median or typical, right? Median, typical. That doesn't change it that much. Weighted. That doesn't change it that much. Lows, of course, would kind of give me more like what I'm expecting, right? Problem with trying to nail that low is, well, sure, probably. But we're trying to nail the mean reversion behavior of the market, right? So what we can probably what we want to do is say it's use close. We'll just use close. So in this example, right, you would trigger here. You could potentially trigger here, 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 right? So I can say like here, for the long, if the low of 0 is less than the underscore mins of 0. Enter long. Okay. They're so minimal, it's negligible. Well, I'm not sure I could say it's negligible. Probably does make differences, especially with the logic that I'm using right here. Axis. Enter short. Okay, but then we're also saying and R2 is less than R2 fresh R3. Now let's call it R2. Now, in these other ones, like Degenerate Gambler, we were using an R2 period of 50. Period 50, R period. Oh, I didn't call it R2 period in this one. R2 period. R2 period. Okay, and R2 thresholds. R2 threshold equals 0.5. So it has to be under 0.5. I'm hoping that that's enough to prevent them from taking trades and, you know, taking trades when it's really on a trend day. Gotcha. So if we come in here and let's add that to this, R squared. Period of 50. Right. So this one might not trigger, but this one might. You found one with a Donchian channel. I don't remember what a Donchian channel, what uses a Donchian channel. I have one of those. I think I've backtested that before, in fact. Like I think if I go to Blizzard indicators, AMA Danchin channel. Yeah, there you go. Oh, it's kind of does use highs and lows, doesn't it? Okay. Danchin channel is probably a little bit more involved than that, of course. But I think that should get us close enough to start. Oh. Oh, I forgot. 0. Oh, interesting. Oh, but this indicator, that was just a test. There we go. Get back test. Support resistance. Yes. That's funny. Back testing at the beginning of the year. So this is going to be a naive strategy. This is going to be terrible, actually. Interesting, actually. That's really weird, actually. Gives you really good exit efficiency, but not really good entry efficiency. But probably that filter being on the exits probably screws it up a lot. Yeah. Chart. I mean, that's not terrible. It's just it's in all the time. They better. Still not profitable, of course. Actually, even more negative. Oh, very interesting. Okay. So I just wanted to test. So if the low of 0 is less than min, oh, I have these wrong. No, that doesn't. Maybe those don't make sense. Maybe we just do that. Being too generous? No. It actually likes more trades. Okay. So, then I guess what we really want to do here is... Oh, that's right. This one is setting the profit targets based on like something to do with volatility and stuff. Okay, fine. X's minus mins. No, let's do it like this. Range target. Range stop. I just hate introducing like more variables, because then that's another thing to possibly optimize and overfit things with. John, good morning. But okay, something like that. Wait. Oh, never mind. Well, that's weird. Oh. Mins. Range target equals 0.5. Range stop equals 1. No, let's do 0.5. I think 1 will work better, but let's see. Okay, so I'm a little bit surprised that that is a lot worse. So is it just not getting to its targets? I don't know about that. I'm not sure I can explain that one. Because if I make the target 0.25, is that going to make it better? I'm kind of skeptical that it would. It's just as bad. Wait, why is that just as bad? It's exactly the same. There's got to be a problem with my code here. The bug in here somewhere. It's like it's not. Oh, that's it right there. It's not using the profit target. Let's try that again. Wow. Way worse. Why does that make it take so many more trades? Oh, it's so interesting. Wait, what's with this one right here? That can't be right. SR short. So that one, its target ended up being this teeny tiny amount. Why is that? Maybe that's correct. I don't know. Oh, buy to cover might be this. Maybe it's because maybe it came out because it became too much trend. So which one? It was this one right here. 1310. Yeah. Well, that improved things a little bit, but so then I come back to this like, should my target just be a lot closer? That makes it way worse. Oh boy. I don't know, man. That sure looks like it's doing what it's supposed to. Sure looks like it's doing what it's supposed to. And the stop loss. Huh. There's some things going on here that I'm kind of like seem wrong, like in the numbers. But when I look at the chart, it appears to be doing what I expect. Seems a little weird to me that it's that bad and that it takes that many trades. Like, I feel like that the R2 threshold should really prevent it from doing that. But maybe if I say it has to be below 0.2, maybe that will kind of... Yeah, that improves it a little bit. Okay. So that works. That works. Now let's go by 10s. 10 to 400 by 10. Here's the open. So far, they've been kind of selling into the open, so that's slightly concerning. $1,600. And 40 is 40. Yeah, okay, maybe that's right. Oh wait, abort. This bit right here. So I call base on state change and derive from my base strategy. Then when I come to the strategy analyzer, I should be able to set save history to false. Okay. That should be better. That should make us less likely to run into some sort of a memory error. Or not memory error, but like running out of memory and things get slow because we don't have memory. Well, it seems to be chugging along okay there, so I think maybe we're okay. 1,600 iterations seems like a lot. Treasuries are a decent little bit of a buy there in the treasuries off of the open on the S&P 500, wasn't it? Oh man, I forgot about the whole thing in New Orleans and all that. Well, let's just pretend that it didn't happen. You know what else we should be talking about is the whole H-1B visa thing. Oh my gosh. I have at least in my world, in the computer science world, man, I have never seen a subject stir up such a firestorm, man. Holy cow. The crazy thing to me about the H-1B visa issue is it's not like they're going to do anything about it right now. Like, nobody's proposing legislation. I don't think that the president is planning any changes or executive orders related to it. So, it's really funny to me that Elon Musk and Vivek are like running really hard into this issue. It's like, okay, cool. So like you're going to expend all of your political capital on something where nothing's going to happen anyways. Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. This actually gave me some iterations that were profitable. I'm shocked. It's not very good, but optimization graph. Let's make this a lot bigger. So it seems that it doesn't care too much about the R2 period, but it does care about the longer term period. And it really likes a much longer term period. Like we were only looking over like a 1 hour period, but it seems to be saying that like it has to be like the high of the last 2 hours. So that is very, very, very curious to me. So which set of parameters did it pick up on in the end? R220 and R260. Oh, what? Okay. Ugh. Yeah, that's kind of what I was afraid of. So when I come in and I see that it's like, oh, here's a place where it worked really, really well on over a 1 year period, that kind of makes me concerned that it's not going to survive the 5-year test. And it did not. Did not at all. It's basically saying 2022 sucked. Sucked big time. And it's probably because it's taking all of these shorts and it doesn't like that. We could put on a daily filter or something like that and say like, only go long. Because like, look, it's the long trades, it was okay. Well, the Sharpe ratio is still pretty terrible. Okay. But going back to this one. Let's set the R2 period to 20. And this period to 260. And optimize these. Okay. That's interesting. One and two, essentially. you know what it's telling us, right? It's telling us that markets have a tendency to trend. That's what it's telling us, right? This is you making more when the target is really high. Yeah. It's basically, it's working better when you take these, you know, it's a long day. Well, so if we come to this one, open in new strategy analyzer tab, save history, change the start date 2019, run. So part of it is having the larger target will result in significantly less trades. Oh, that one actually worked out. There's maybe some evidence in here that we could get something to work. So there's this drawdown in 2022. So that's where it's like, okay, so what if we only ever went long or we only ever went short? And then those would probably come out. So it's probably where it's like it's trading against the trend essentially. Right? All right, fine. Let's see here. I think it was Degenerate Gambler 2 that was, yeah. We had a super filter on it. Super smoother, rather. And, moving average period. Really, it should be, we should call it trend period. And they're using 110. PMIs in a minute, you're right. S&P Manufacturing PMI final, we're looking for a reading of 48.3. I don't think I even use all of these, but I'll stick them in anyways. Here we go. Okay, so it's a little bit higher than expected. Manufacturing PMI final 49.4 versus 48.3. Not getting too much of a reaction in the treasuries yet, though. Okay, let's try that. That did not help their performance. Too many variables to optimize here, man. I think what I'm going through is just, why all support and resistance traders seem to think that it works. Because when you look at the chart and everything, it seems like, oh yeah, that should totally work most of the time. Right? Could just let it loose on optimizing everything, but then you really got something that's just curve fitted, right? It likes a really, really high trend period. That's what it's doing there. Oh, that sucks. Oh. It seems like it's able to make all of the trend periods work, but that the longer the trend period is, the better. But we started at 110 and it wasn't working. There's like this little drop there. That's weird. It's also really interesting to me that the target that you take based on the range doesn't seem to matter. It's just taking max and min. So, like, let's open one up. So one of the issues that I'm running into here is I'm trying to display an issue with a type of strategy, and what is ending up happening is I am displaying an issue with overfitting, over optimizing strategies, probably more so than I am the actual issue with the strategy. But basically what it does, oh my, doesn't take very many trades, does it? Yeah, that's a problem. That's probably overfitted. So basically what it's doing is it's looking at the range and it's saying, oh, we're at the low of the range, so I'm going to take a long. So it's doing support and resistance. And it's doing it based on what the larger... So this one, I'm not sure I can explain why that one... Do I have a bug in here? Enter long, is rising, is falling, enter short. How is this one taking a long? Because the trend is clearly down in every way. It's very, very odd. I'm not quite sure what to make of that. I don't think it's working the way that I want it to. That one is probably a better example. Bang. It's saying, oh, hey, guess what? We're stuck in a range. So when we get down here to the bottom of the range, I go long, and then I take profit at the top of the range. Ta-da! That's all it's doing. So it's not any special indicator. These are all indicators built into NinjaTrader so far. Except for the filter. Except for the period, and that's just a super smoother. By the way, why is this? Oh, okay, no, it's working. But basically, what it's doing is it's basically optimizing towards a longer period because that takes less trades. Is what it's doing. You get this situation where basically maybe the trend period shouldn't be allowed to be bigger than the R2 period or the main time frame period. You know, like this was 260. And that should only, oh, that's 400. that doesn't matter too much. And then it goes negative. Well, let's try a different way. I think that this trend bit right here was a failure. Doesn't seem to help this. It seemed to just become an overfitted. So we're gonna try this instead. I'm gonna add a new daily bars. Yeah. Week SMA. Yeah. 2-week SMA. Yeah. Is rising daily trend. What are two formations with the ability to see both sides of the perspective of testing different market structures in correlation of multiple time frames? Well, so I think I'm not even sure I completely understand what you're suggesting, but I see a couple of problems with what you're saying. So one thing is the more parameters that you introduce into the strategy, the more likely you are to over optimize the strategy. So adding a bunch of different things is maybe not necessarily the best way to go about it. The second thing is that you're going to start looking for such a specific situation and setup that it doesn't take very many trades, and then you're not able to get a lot of data about the trade. So like the first ones that we were doing, really good. It took a lot of trades. It was really good in that respect, at least. Okay. Oh yes, I see what we gotta do. We got to take out this. Basically doing it based on the target. No. Now you're just saying optimize it even more, Nick. So if the issue is we're going to over optimize our strategy, Then you're saying do it over different time spectrums and pick the time spectrum that works the best. Isn't that just over optimizing it even more? I don't know. This whole thing is really funny. Like, it is over optimized. Like, well, it's not over optimized. It's basically it's saying mean reversion on a 1 minute chart of S&P 500 doesn't work very well. This is what it's saying. It wants you to go, it wants the filters to be longer and longer time frame so that it takes less and less trades, and it wants the targets to be larger. So it can basically take advantage of the trending behavior of the S&P 500 instead of. So if we come back to here, these stops and targets, and we just keep everything to 1. Yeah, that's good. I'll try this bit again. Well, I feel like that the treasuries didn't really react to those PMIs, but they still look relatively active. So I guess they're just doing the whole it's the beginning of the year thing. I don't know. Anyway, the camera looks a little bit too high to me. There, that's a little better. So the issue is you got to get something. Well, just the starting point is something that is profitable over a 5-year time period. And it's not going. What we're seeing instead is there are periods where it works really well and there are periods where it doesn't work very well. And putting like daily filters on it and so forth doesn't seem to help very much. So this is why you get these retail traders that they say support and resistance works. And then really what's happening is they're buying the lows. And so when we go into a downtrend, they just get destroyed. That's what's really going on. Oh, my phone just connected to my wife's car. Oh, I have the baby monitor, by the way. I should turn that on. Yeah, so in that, it's able to come out with something that works, but that's actually quite a bit better. Whoa, what the heck? That's interesting. So there is an R2 period, the short one, it seems to work really, really well. But that's probably just because it's basically saying, like, it doesn't trade at all. Okay. Well, that's a little interesting. Now let's look at the historical performance of it. Like the... Okay. You say so, Nick. Do you have a 5-year track period? Do you have a 5-year track record? Don't steal my juice. Okay, that's over 1 year is actually pretty okay. Right there. It doesn't take very many trades though. So I don't like that. Fail. Cool. So it's worked since 2023, but before that it didn't. But which parameters was it picking up on? Period of 170 and R2 period of 50. Well, an R2 period of 50 makes a bit more sense. Wait, so was that... let's change this none. And then R2 period. For some reason, it really likes an R2 period of 50. Why is that? Well, that's interesting because anytime that I use R2, it seems to want to use a period of 50. What am I optimizing it on? Profit factor? No. Max net profit. There we go. I don't know. The whole thing is just funny because when I go and I look at the chart, it's kind of like, this is not working the way that it should. But then I start to go into, and it's like, actually, it is working the way that it should. Yeah, but you get this issue that's basically, how do you tell it don't trade when it's trending? You know, I don't even have the thing that gets it out when it starts to trend. That kind of makes a difference. Taking forever to okay, there we go. Well, the spoos seem to be going okay since the PMI news. So that's really kind of curious. And that low there was basically they sold until the PMI, and then the PMI was, I guess they decided okay. Oh, now we get back to this thing where like the period doesn't matter, huh? Probably because the R2 period. Oh, no, wait, what's, why is that? Because the R2 threshold is so small. Probably. Because 99 trades over a year is not enough. I mean, it's mighty impressive when you look at the profit factor and everything. Hey, Sharpe ratio is negative though. Oh, it's actually, there's none of them are actually profitable. Oh, no, that one says total net profit was good. Why is that? Not. I'm confused. Open in strategy analyzer tab. What? Oh, maybe it's because, it's because I changed the thing again. Yeah. All right. So I can't duplicate that result anymore, essentially, without taking it back out. Well, it kind of seems like I can reduce the number of iterations by doing this. Like, actually, let's do it like this. 50 to 400 by 50. No. 10 to 50 by 10. And then on this was period. Okay. Still doesn't take a whole lot of trades. Oh, but I also changed the R2 threshold bit, right? None. about what you should expect, actually. Didn't like the 10 period, but everything else is kind of the same. No, not the R2 threshold. R2 period seems to be the one that's most varied. Okay, 239 is okay. Oh, I gotta save history. It's still kind of giving me these results that are kind of like, oh, well, you're trading against the trend is what's happening. But the daily filter's not working very well, basically. Daily filter doesn't work very well. I kind of question if the R2 threshold thing is really actually working too, to be frank with you. That's so curious to me that it's like it doesn't, after a period of about 120, that it doesn't matter. After a period of about 100, it doesn't matter. Yeah, because that's the least number of trades. I feel like that 0.3 makes the most sense for this. 0.3. And is that all the optimizations? Yeah. Hmm. Oh, okay. So that one is pretty good, right? Like that one is saying, "Oh, like we're starting to develop trends," so I get out of it. This one, oh, we're starting to develop trend, so I get out of it. There really is something to like that. These things right here are like, you know, like make the range target smaller, and that one should come out profitable, I would think. Yeah, there you go. See, it's totally doing what it's supposed to do. Some of these, for some reason, the profit target ends up being weird. Like that one right there. Why is the profit target? That can't be right. Right? It's going short. The target should be target maxis of 0 minus range times the range target, which is 0.5. So let's see here. Can I find another short? Is it a problem only with the shorts? No. Because there's one that's okay. That one worked pretty good. But I think it gets out because... Okay, how about this? Market position. Performance unit. Okay, let's go look up that method. I thought I had... Okay, so now it will only close it when we're losing trends if we're going the wrong way, right? So if I'm making money, then it will keep it open. That should help a little bit. Not convert from bool to double. Oh. It should be like this. Is less than 0. Don't be mad if that one doesn't improve the results. Oh, it improved it just a teeny tiny bit. Okay. Long target. So, okay, that's one where I think it's getting, yeah, okay. But how do I tell it? How do I tell it? Exit long. Can I do it like that? I don't think I can. I don't think it works like that. Yeah, that would be exit long, SR long, comma. Like that. Yeah, there we go. See, it got out because it was trending and it was down on the position. So it got out. Wait, what's with this one? Okay, that's suspicious. The long that it ended up taking was way up here. How did it do that? Now on this one, oh, because it's not. Yeah, I get you. Oh, it was below the threshold. For some reason, it was below the threshold here, but it was above the threshold here. Okay, okay. Selling in the bond market. And we're getting something a little bit more in the last 15 minutes for sure. Yeah. But that might just be mean reversion back to this area that they've spent so much time at 30.5. I'm not sure. Not too sure yet if that's actually significant. see all those in trending. If you take out all of these losses from when it starts to trend, then, you know, that's a lot. That's a lot. Can I copy it? It's probably all the losses. So we get up to these ones. How can that be? Where it's profit target? Those it's got to be bugs, issues with the data, where the data is bad. Some longs and shorts. So can't completely explain that one. Okay, I actually I can fix that. Spoo's kind of turning back down again. Well, I mean, they've already turned back down. I guess if you were in the mean, this is where the algo might be trying to buy it. This is where the support and resistance algo might be trying to buy it at, rather. Yeah, there you go. Now all of the profit target ones are winners, right? Stop losses. Then these ones where it starts to trend and it's negative, so it fails. Probably might do better if you don't include that, but it would be a wash. These essentially, you want to find a way to filter these ones out. That actually made a difference of about 40K. So that's not particularly great. But the amount of times when it gets in and then bails because trend starts to develop is way too high. 0.3 is probably too... It's probably too aggressive. It is, but then that just ends up in a lot more trades. Yup. So if we come in and we get rid of this again. Yeah. It's a lot better. Right now the win rate's super high because there's lots of those that probably could have been okay, but you know. It's pretty consistently bad though. So interesting. Is the opposite better? It is. Interesting. I mean, it still loses money, and it's actually total net profit is actually worse, but the Sharpe ratio is better. Results on that are a little bit more random than what I see most people doing now, so it's not really. Very curious. Come back to this thing. There too. It's okay. Yeah. Give me 50 iterations. Oh, why is it taking so long? Oh, because I probably optimized it over the whole. Abort, abort. I'm gonna breach these lows here. I think my ninja is having a little bit of an issue here. Yeah, I did 2019. Still waiting for it to abort. That shouldn't be 2019. Well, I don't know. I kind of feel like that doing that from the highs and lows did generally create the kind of algorithm that we want. But I really don't feel like that the support resistance traders will really believe the results. I think that they'll just be like, well, you need to do X, Y, and Z. And then we will add all of those things and then it won't work. So let's try that. Is that better? Come on now. Am I out of memory? Yep. 17K is not what it's supposed to be. Hey, Paul, I tried to join the premium Discord. Message me on Discord, okay? just message me on Discord, and I think I can do something to let you in. I'm gonna have to look at it, but I'm pretty sure there's a way that I can. Area 50. The worst is a 5-minute. But see, all that this will do is reduce the number of trades. So it really is suggesting that it's a bad trade, essentially. Oh, you were the last minute customer? Oh. Yes, I actually probably do that today or tomorrow. So I have to redo the purchase page, but that's funny, dude. Yeah, I was kind of looking at it because I was like, oh, we'll see if anybody, because I kind of feel like that most of you guys that watch the channel and really want them have them. you know, and I was doing that just to make sure, but apparently APOL was the one. But I did activate it. You got all that stuff, right? Because the weird one with, well, not the weird one. So something that I find a little weird and really bothers me is that so the way that it works is I'm using the NinjaTrader built-in licensing stuff. So basically, you give me your machine ID. Each NinjaTrader instance has a machine ID, and then I have a little interface that allows me to authorize the use of my indicators for that machine, right? So what that means is when you use my indicators, I can see the machine IDs of all of the people that have used the indicators. I mean, there's nothing you can do with it beyond that, but I can see how many people have installed my indicators, right? And for some reason, a lot of the people that buy my indicator don't try it first. Like, there's a free 2-week trials. You install it first and play with it for 2 weeks, and then if you decide you like it when it starts blacking out, then you go and you buy it, right? But I would say that probably half of the people, they don't try it before, they just buy it. And APOL was in that category. He had not installed it yet. I was like, okay. I don't know. Going back to this back test, I think the thing that bothers me about the back test now is that, like, the pure version of it, the version of it that's like, you know, doing what I would expect to be like the most simple, naive approach to support and resistance trading, and you're gonna get I would expect it to like have periods where it would work and not work. So like when I look at net profit summary and I look at net profit, I would expect it to be like, oh, I actually have to do this. Open in strategy analyzer tab. $2019. So you got a 5-year history. Wait, how come? Oh, I forgot. 2019 and save history. There we go. I don't think I've been activated yet. I perfectly correct. But was it like literally last night? Because I got one like yesterday. When I have to do it manually, and I send you an email when I've done it. Yeah, on Tuesday. Oh, no, what? Yeah, on Tuesday. Austin. I don't know. No, I'm pretty sure yeah. And you should get an email from me, from my Proton Mail account. I didn't do the free trial, but I didn't want to spend twice the amount. Oh, it's on something that I was going to get. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, anyways, I would have expected the profit to be like, you know, like we were kind of getting. But when I do the most pure form of it, it's just kiddish. And like, look, it's like, you know, it's winning most of the time. It's supposed to be trying to take an equal risk reward. But it's based on the range. And so it basically, what it's saying is that when it fails, the ranges are bigger. I could perhaps limit it. I could say, if the range is larger than a certain amount, then don't trade. That might be a better filter. That actually is probably very much so a better filter. To see the average losing trade is way too big relative to the winner. I don't know. One thing I haven't tried is that with the stop at 0.25 as well. That's way worse. That's way worse. Oh man, what's with that? And then all of a sudden it's a 34% winner? Really? Really? That result right there. There's something wrong with that. We're gonna try the one more thing. We got a little bit of time. So now it should be, if we're at the max, we enter long and vice versa. Here, when we were taking the opposite trade, it was 35% profitable. And now it's 34. Maybe that's just because, like, the stop ends up being with, I don't know. There's got to be something to that. Why is it that bad? Let's make the stop really big. I think that my optimizations tried that, but well, that is better. Oh, you have the email. Oh, yes, it was a spam. Of course. Yeah. It's really funny how you... Well, you know, it takes a lot of trades. 66,000 trades, that's a lot. Takes a lot of trades. Chart. Oh, right. This is the opposite. Yeah. Anyways. We'll leave it like that. That way we can come back and then we can do the back test. And then I can show you, like, okay, like, look, okay, you think that support and resistance trading is super great? Come on. It'll be like that. Okay, so here you go. It's a long, a target. That's cool. Okay, it could show there's a target. Here, and it says it's a long, there's a target. Long, it gets to the target, right? Short, there's a target. Long, there's a target, right? It just, whenever it's down here, right, here's the support. And what does it do? It goes, yeah, here's the resistance. Okay. Support, right? So that's perfect, right? That's support and resistance, right? There's the performance of it. Like, it just doesn't work. Why? But why does it not work? Because the markets are fat-tailed. Small number of really big runs are responsible for most of the profits. And so when you lose, you'll lose big. And the amount that you lose will be way more than the amount that you're making from it. Yes. That's essentially the whole thing. And then you say all these things like, well, okay, but you need to be like in line with the trend and so on and so forth. But you add all of those things in and it doesn't really help. We tried that. So, I guess we could post this in the Discord. Again, yeah, hey Paul, there you are. Then I can figure it out. There's a way. I'm pretty sure there's a way for me to get you into the premium Discord without you having to pay. But because to be honest, like the primary reason behind it is to prevent spam. So we can invite anybody in. That's weird that your bank just doesn't allow it at all. That's weird. But whatever. Okay, so tomorrow we'll do the rest stuff. But in the meantime, I'm gonna head out. I will see you guys tomorrow. Stay excellent, team.